The green light is on, and MotoGP leaves Balaton Park in Hungary a few weeks ago and moves over to Catalonia for the Catalan Grand Prix. The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya is a challenge, and it's a fearsome track. MotoGP, well, we just love it here. Welcome to the literal home of Dorna. We're underway, green light, and the session is go for practice 2. Let's check in with our colleagues over at TNT.
It is good as well, that soft tyre will push the front. So you're going to have to respect that coming through turn 2 as well this morning. It's not cold out there. We must point that out at all, but just cooler than what it was yesterday.
Yeah, you have to be careful on the opening laps. It's just the reality of this track. There's so many right-hand corners, not many left-hand corners. And actually, the first proper sort of left-hand corner you go through, you don't load the front, so that doesn't generate any friction basically to the tyre, which then doesn't generate any heat. So that's why in the past we've seen so many people crash it at turn 5. This year it's been much better, hasn't it?
Yeah. It's
almost like the track's lost even more grip, which has made the limit come even earlier, and people aren't even flirting with it. Jorge
Martin, we saw him still making adjustments to his position on the motorcycle down there in the Aprilia garage. There's Aleix Espargaro in as a wild card this weekend. Loves this place. Obviously, it's his local track he's grown up on, but was good yesterday, you have to say. Popped up on occasion on the Honda, having missed out in Hungary when he was supposed to be riding. He'd had another horrible bicycle crash and cut all down his side of his legs and his body. But good to see him back this weekend. And yeah, who could forget 2023 here when he had the best weekend of his life?
Yeah, he's obviously had some fantastic memories around here over the years, and probably one of his worst ever when he crossed the line and thought the race was finished. But yeah, he's returning, and first time here on the Honda in race conditions. And yesterday he was in the top 10 quite frequently. It was good to see. It was a little bit of a problem here for Miguel Oliveira on the Pramac Yamaha.
So we saw an Abe Bastianini, didn't we, pull out there yesterday. So problem perhaps for
chain off then. I don't know if it was. Rare you see a chain come off, or obviously break.
Well, you see now that Aprilia have got those like guides almost to keep the chain, obviously with the lowering device now, the way it drops it down, perhaps there is an increased risk. We've not seen it happen that frequently, but yeah, it's obviously something that Aprilia did consider.
Looks good, that Honda test bike, doesn't it? It always looks good, doesn't it?
It looks as factory could ever look. it's the HRC colours always look super cool, doesn't it? How cool though that Honda they are back, aren't they? They've made big steps this year thanks to the concessions. Well, and Romano Albesiano moving over there. There's obviously lots of changes. Having Aleix as a test rider. It's working. There are more than green shoots, aren't there, Gav?
Yeah, new frame for them coming last time, and now Zarco's got it. He says it just feels so much better. It just feels like there's new bits and pieces every single week there.
Well, Aleix said with the new frame, when he tried it, he said he back-to-backed it on quite a few occasions. He reckons there's 0.4 of a second in it, which I've got to say, that's as big as you could ever dream about. I mean, it's hard to find lap time. It's not what you think. You sometimes think, oh, they'll have a new chassis. Sure, well, you'll find half a second in that. It's small margins. It's really difficult to find time.
And interesting that Ayagura's back in the mix this weekend. He's made it through into Q2. Low grip tracks earlier in the year worked for Ay, didn't there? Something in his style. He doesn't mind it loose, does he, Ay?
No.
Something that obviously marries between him and this kind of place.
Yeah, you remember how he rode a Moto2 bike sideways into every turn. He just likes it drifting, likes it loose and on the move, which isn't typical of a Japanese rider.
No.
They're a little bit more wheels in line.
Apart from Norihaga.
Yeah, Nori liked it loose as well. But yeah, Ay's looking good again this weekend. But it's typical, isn't it, when you think of a rookie who bursts onto the scene, have a bit of a dip, a few rounds of head scratching, and then all of a sudden it begins to make sense again. Good to see a return to form for Ogura and the Trackhouse team.
The Yamaha front might not have headline looked like it was going okay, but I think Yamaha feel they're at less of a disadvantage here, as in because there is a lack of grip for everybody.
No one can find it.
No, exactly. No one's got the acceleration, the punch out the corner that they've been missing out on, and yeah, it just feels like they could throw it into the corners that little bit more.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that. So you say, well, Yamaha aren't really losing out. Their weak point's always been, let's say, searching for grip. There is no grip anyway. So the other manufacturers, Ducati actually said, didn't they?
Mark said it.
Yeah, Mark was saying yesterday evening, our strong point is the exit. It's setting the bike up, finding the grip and firing it down these straights. Well, there is no grip. No matter what you do, you can't find it. So it's like they don't quite have the advantage they've had at previous circuits, the Ducati runners. And like I say, essentially that's helping Yamaha. There we go.
At least didn't want to give that one up, did he?
Shock horror. Hold the front page. I mean, come on. That was such an Aleix thing to do. It's like, well, no. It's like, no, Aleix, you've lost this position in the braking zone. It's okay. Just let him through. But that's sort of why we like Aleix. He's always been a fiery, stubborn character. Even as a test rider, he's come back with expectations and ego to boot.
Yeah, a little bit of needle, a point to prove. Always for Aleix. He made a career on proving people wrong. Like a chip, he carries big old potato on his shoulder.
Yeah, isn't it funny? He's always had that the chip on his shoulder, but yeah, he used it to propel himself to a successful MotoGP career.
Yeah, and that chip, I tell you what, he's very modest. If you follow him on Instagram, said no one ever. I mean, he's king of the brag, isn't he? Very funny.
Jack Miller said a few things they have to iron out there, but looked okay actually on occasion yesterday. The problem for Jack, as it always will be later on in the race, said they're just trying to find in grip, but who isn't? But they have said we are maxed out everywhere. We are maxed out everywhere in what you would normally do, shortening the bike, doing whatever. Dramatic changes, doesn't matter. We've gone to the limit trying to find it. And it now feels like, with his contract in his belt, all the eggs in Yamaha are now focused on the V4 basket.
And rightly so. We know they've tried everything, haven't they, with the inline four. Everyone knows its weaknesses. They've gone round in circles. I don't mean that disrespectful to Yamaha, because running their inline four has brought them so much success over the past 2 decades. But in reality now, this game's changed, the sport's moved on, and they've had to finally admit that the V4 is the way to go with regards to engine.
You see how Brad Binder closed there on Morbidelli down into turn 5, something we haven't been able to see, and Brad basically saying in some of these corners he's able to turn it into the corner, something like the bike's doing what he wants it to do. It sounds a really simple thing to say, but you know, he feels like he's got the confidence now, particularly in a lot of the fast corners around here, that when he throws the bike in, it's actually taking the line he wants it to.
Yeah, it's a breakthrough, isn't it? Obviously, recent rounds has looked so much better for Brad, but when you're leading the way on a Friday afternoon, setting lap times, the bike's reacting exactly how you predict it should, it begins to make sense. And yeah, it's so good to see for Brad Binder. It's been a tough old season, but when Brad gets his teeth into something, and I think he has it this weekend, he's got the pace, he's got the rhythm, and if he can qualify well here coming up in these qualifying sessions, I think we're in for an exciting sprint and feature race tomorrow out of Brad Binder.
It feels to me, Pedro spoke about it yesterday, and Brad the same, they put a lot of their focus this weekend on getting qualifying right. Pedro has not used a medium tyre yet. It's all been on the soft tyre. Now, okay, that'll probably be the option for the sprint race later on. But it's like, let's just get qualifying right, and then things come to us.
Then you've a chance. If you don't get qualifying right, obviously, especially with the 2 race format, as we've seen so many times, your weekend's done. Like, before you've even got to the point where you start to score points, your weekend's done, because qualifying, you've been that far off. So it's not a bad idea to change your approach to the weekends, and let's work on getting a 1-lap pace, because everyone's going to struggle in the race. It's going to be pretty clear which tyres to run. You're going to run the soft in the sprint. That's why the majority are out on soft rears now, doing essentially race runs. How nice is it to see Round Mir to set the fastest time as well? Everyone's having a little race run. This is a sprint practice run. So these are relevant lap times.
And over the last few weeks, we're talking about Mir, Marini, Acosta, Bastianini, Binder. We're not boring people talking about all the Ducatis, top 8, because they are not. And this weekend, it really is 2 Ducatis. It's Alex above Mark, and then it's KTM's, Hondas, Aprilias that are in the mix.
Yeah, it's refreshing, I want to say, Gav. It's been so long where Ducati have just had this dominance from their factory riders, but also all the support team riders. And now this weekend is the first time we're properly seeing the KTMs being more competitive than arguably the majority of the Ducatis, and Honda's right in the mixes. Neil said, how good is it to see Joan Mir just all by himself, lapping consistently, leading the way?
Looking good. Well, you look at the top, what is it now, top 6. We've got Honda, 2 Ducatis, we've got an Aprilia, a Yamaha and a KTM. Top 6. All covered by 0.3.
You know, we discussed earlier about the geeks in this sport, including myself, looking back at, you know, practice sessions from a few years ago. We were talking about Neil Morrison being one of the kings of them, who obviously commentates on the world feed. Steve Day's just as bad, you know. He's supposed to be preparing for Donington Park, BSB this weekend, 4 races, so much to talk about there. He just sent me a message. Brad Binder, last top tee practice session, Phillip Island 2023 on Friday. That was on a Friday that he told. Wow. 2023, so nearly 2 years ago now. Cheers, Steve. Have a great time at Donington this weekend. I'm sure you will. What a fantastic racetrack to be at BSB.
In your spare time, you wouldn't find out, since Brad Binder joined MotoGP, how many sessions he's topped, because it won't be many. I'll leave that one with you.
As if he hadn't got enough on his plate this weekend with the busy action at Donington. Yeah, don't forget we've got BSB over there, round 8. It all getting hot, isn't it, at the top. Carl Wright, Brad Ray, that one is going to go down to the wire again. And we've also got World Superbikes over in Magny-Cours. Greg and JT will be over there. If you want to watch all the action while you're keeping in touch with us here in MotoGP, of course, get that Discovery Plus app downloaded. You can watch 2 races simultaneously on separate devices, on your tablet, on your phone, and a way to keep across all the 2-wheel action that we've got for you this weekend on TNT Sports. Alex Marquez's dad and girlfriend down there, and Mark has him picked out as the favourite this weekend. Although Alex himself says he's having a few problems. He went through a number of corners. I remember him saying about turn 3, turn 9. There were a few fast corners basically that he was the front didn't feel quite right. The last couple of corners, and yet Mark says, "Oh, he'll destroy me in the last couple of corners."
It's always been Mark's Achilles heel, those 2 fast right-hand corners at the end of the lap. I remember last year was the same. He was losing about 0.3 of a second through there. And it's ever since he broke his arm, he's never been that comfortable on right-hand corners. I know it's hard to believe we're saying that.
But the fast rights in particular.
For the fast right-hand corners, yeah. 3rd, 4th gear corners is... He openly admits that he struggles. Obviously, he gets to see all the data, as do all the Ducati riders, so you can analyse exactly where you're losing. So when he tells you those in his debriefs, he's not playing games. That is factual.
He said if it was Alex versus him on the last lap, he wouldn't be able to do a Rossi, basically. He didn't say that. He said, but I wouldn't be able to attack. The other way round, he said Alex would have a chance.
Yeah, obviously in the afternoon session we've seen some shots of Mark. Still looks pretty fast through there, but not head and shoulders above the others. He's able to hold his own in the last sector. So yeah, I think he's looking better than he was a year ago in the GP23 Ducati through those last right-handers. But yeah, interested in Alex struggling turn 3, which sometimes because you don't load the front hard in there, you don't grab the front brake, and the front can feel a little bit light. Likewise at the top of the hill, turn 9 into that right-hander. And those last 2 corners, turn 13 is downhill, slightly off camber, and the final corner is a difficult one. We've seen riders lose the front there yesterday and save it. But yeah, I think there's still work to do this morning, even in this 30-minute session, just searching for a little bit more.
Saw Pecco Bagnaia, spoke to Susie about it at the top. You know, he was asked the question yesterday, you know, if you looked at yourself, not just the bike, he goes, oh, that's the first thing I do. First thing I do is look at myself. I am the most self-critical. I've looked at everything, my nutrition, my training, everything. I'm looking at it, and I believe I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. I am, and yeah, I am also looking at myself. But I am not getting the feeling back that I'm wanting from this motorcycle. I was positive coming into the weekend. It feels like the hole he's in is just getting deeper.
Yeah,
and the only tool he's got is a spade, and he's digging deeper into the hole.
Unfortunately, and he said yesterday, I was trying so hard today. It's that popular misconception when you watch someone struggling and they just don't look right on the bike. It's like, what's he doing? He needs to really focus and attack it, and it's the opposite. He's doing that too much, but he's overthinking it too much, and it's not a great shot. The only way you can start to snap out of it is by getting a result. It's a chicken and egg situation, though, and it's every rider's gone through it. He's just experiencing it right now, and it's normal.
And
it's normal to experience it. This is what all the greats have gone through it. Valentino Rossi went through it. Obviously, he got lost with Ducati, didn't he?
Oh, several
the
times.
riders could ride the Ducati.
Several times, I think he went through that, didn't he, Megan, as well? As Megan's back alongside me. Hello, everybody. Should we try this again? Nice to see everybody. System's back operational as well after a few issues. Megan, you've been watching the MotoGP weekend. Has it been exciting so far? Has it been good?
It's been here nor there. I mean, we had one crash in free practice 1.
Yeah.
And that was... Oh, no, actually, we've had 2 crashes. First one was Jack Miller. Then we also had a stoppage from Bastianini. And then I believe it was in practice that Zarco actually crashed. So 3 instances, but it's nothing serious. It doesn't seem like it's definitely doesn't seem like a high impact track. But also it does seem like a very bumpy track, as I am getting proved right by looking at Bezzecchi right now, who's just gone very bumpy over curbs, which is very unfortunate given that he had 2 really good sectors 1 and 2 times, and I think he's going into the pits now because he's realised, oh, this lap is completely gone now, I may as well just go back in.
So here we go then, as the session continues on. This is, of course, going to be a dramatic session and a dramatic race overall. I'm expecting, Megan, to see at least, 3, 4 safety car, red flag periods, because this track is just dangerous as well, we know. We saw a couple of years ago with Bagnaia. You get the first corner wrong here, you're getting launched into the air.
True, especially given it's the heaviest braking point on the track. There's some elements of this track which I've noticed are just that little bit too narrow for MotoGP. And it's not narrow enough for Formula 1 because through rose corners you only have to go for like one car can only go through that point. Yeah. But with MotoGP, they're going to try and put more than one bike through those areas.
Go on.
No, you go.
I was saying, are you expecting a lot of accidents this weekend?
Honestly, I can't tell because they've all been taking it very cautiously. And they've all kind of been like avoiding each other. I haven't actually been able to see what they have been like as like a unit. So I can't properly estimate whether there will be accidents. I reckon there might be a few.
A couple of them will come across. I'll crop up.
Yeah. I think it might be spread across both the sprint and in the race.
That I will agree with you on. I see it being a bit of an interesting twofer weekend maybe coming through overall Gambit times as the session wrinkles on. And we'll be up with you shortly up here in the comms box as well. Megan Birch alongside me as we discuss the day's action. Just getting our timing data screens operational in the correct order. Got a yellow flag out, sectors 2 and 3, I've just noticed.
I don't know what that's about. Though Binder did just go off, though not in the same sector. Sector 1, I think, will be a problem. So why is the yellow out?
Just come up as yellow flag, sectors 2 and 3. New system on our timing wants to look. Yellow flag, sectors 2 and 3.
Oh, I like that.
So, yeah, there we go. Yellow flag, sectors 2 and 3. Don't know why.
Digi isn't moving.
Well, he's moving
now.
Binder's down there. But
oh, Rins.
Yeah, there we go. It's Alex Rins. Alex Rins has gone off as we welcome you up to the combox cam. Hello, everybody. Yeah, Rins has gone off. So that brings out the yellow flags temporarily.
Turn 5. Turn 5.
Nasty place to go off, really. That's campsite. That's downhill on the left-hander. So it's, as you come out of 4 from Repsol down into 5.
Here it is.
Here it is, down in 5 at Campsa.
He seems perfectly fine, though.
No, sorry, it's Seat, turn 5. Campsa's 9. Fast one, but yeah, you're right, he's okay.
Yeah.
Green flag's come back out of the way.
He looked like a starfish giving up on life there.
Yeah.
Just like,
Not
just
me,
gonna stay
not
here.
my problem.
yeah.
I like how we can now see where the yellow flags are, though.
Yeah.
That's a good addition to the timing screen.
It
As,
makes-
well, Superbikes have also had a change up in their systems as well.
Did that annoy you a little bit?
It did it yesterday morning when I had to reset. I had a bad day yesterday. Let's skip over that.
Oh, that's unfortunate for Rins. 4th issue, but 3rd crash of the weekend.
4th issue already.
Yeah. It's a 3rd crash, but 4th issue because... Not for specifically for Rins.
But just overall, yeah.
Yeah.
with
Because
you
obviously Bastianini, for some reason, he completely stopped and had to go over to a marshal point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he must have had an engine issue and knew he couldn't get it back to the pit lane, didn't want to cause a yellow, so he just went over to a marshal point and just left.
Makes sense. Gives it all some time, doesn't it, as well, compared to the two?
I think he was on his 2nd bike in the practice yesterday, because this happened in free practice 1. It was very bizarre.
When isn't it this time around?
True.
So, still looking good then at the moment. Let's check back in with T.
That was all part of it. That's all part of the long game to getting concessions through the rule book.
Yeah, when you think back to pre-2012, that was the big change when the grid has dropped down to 12 to 14 riders. It was lean and Dorna had to take action. Initially, the CRT rules, it worked to bolster the grid, then the open class worked to bring Ducati into the mix and the unified electronic software. Everything that's come with that, it's been a long road to here right now where the teams are better funded, they're all on competitive machinery. You've got a 22 strong grid and any of those riders, machines could win a race. So yeah, it's worked. But then the recent switch to Ducati being as strong as they are, they've had to, there's been give and take obviously. They've had to allow the concessions for Honda, Yamaha, even Aprilia and KTM on level C have got more advantages than Ducati. So it's allowing them to bridge the gap a little bit, but at the same time, GG and the guys are going to fight. They've invested a lot, developed the lower device, developed those aero packages. They got to be able to take benefit for a few years and then obviously concede in 2027. They have to go. But yeah, it has worked, and obviously the MSMA are involved with the manufacturer side, and it's not always going to be unanimous. So it's a difficult job, the politics of getting everyone on side and agreeing to certain implements of rules and concessions that not everyone's going to agree with.
And saying all that, come back to the start, Mark's won 7 in a row. Still, so
Yeah.
still you feel like the Ducati's the best package. They've got the best rider on that package at the moment. As Joan Mir giving Toprak a run for his money down towards turn 1. Exciting moves to see him come across, of course, next season.
Just see how the front fairing lifted a little bit as he released the front brake to get the rear wheel back down and regain contact. That's where Toprak has got somehow an extraordinary skill that he holds it on, lets that rear wheel ride all the way, and I'm intrigued to see if he can do it on a Yamaha V4 MotoGP machine next year with a Michelin front tyre as well.
Fabio Gian Antonio not in as big a hole as Pecco Bagnaia at the moment, but still finding going tough on the GP25. It's going to be so interesting to see what Ducati do, obviously with the engine freeze at the start of next season. What do they do? What do they do? Which direction do they go in? GP25, I would say.
We'll learn a lot after Misano, won't
Yeah.
they, at that test?
Yeah.
That's when they will be, that's such an important test. So after next weekend's race on the Monday, there's a big test.
Well, I didn't get a chance because they stopped Pecco Bagnaia taking questions yesterday, but I really wanted to ask, do you now switch your focus to 26? Pecco has to. You know, he's not winning the title. Do you now go, right, scrap this, start again, we'll start again with the 26 bike, and I can really work on that. I can really focus, because Mark's going to be on it from Misano. That's it. He knows this year's done. He's already. He said, comment from Mark yesterday was, I want to keep the same level throughout the season. You know, I'm not going to push extra, risk more to win it in Misano, or risk less to make sure I've got the championship. I'm just going to try and do the same. But he says, as soon as I win the championship, if he did say,
I'll work and help my brother as much as I possibly can.
No, his line...
Block people.
His line was, as soon... I know, he says, I've been there, done that. As soon as you win the championship, do you know what happens the next day when you wake up?
You get leathered.
You think...
What? Go on.
You think about the next challenge. And the next... He says, next day...
Absolute loser.
You are
thinking... loser's approach to racing.
You are thinking about winning it next year as well.
Yeah, of course. No, I'm obviously joking.
And,
yeah.
And that will be it.
Yeah, because he's an absolute machine, isn't he? It's Marc Marquez. What Marc wants to do is win every race. He wants to smash every record. And he ain't going to let his brother beat him, despite what people think, because that means giving away victories, and he doesn't want to give away victories, because that's who he is. He wants to look back at the records and know he's won more races than Valentino Rossi, and he wants to win more than Giacomo Agostini. He does. So, more world titles than Giacomo Agostini, which will be... that's going to be a difficult one.
Well, yeah, he's not going to get to the 15, but he could easily match him in 8 MotoGP titles, 8 Premier Class titles,
yeah.
and maybe even go beyond that. He's set to match Valentino Rossi this year with 7 Premier Class titles, 9 in total.
Yeah, if he wins on Sunday, it'll be his 99th Grand Prix win. Valentino's got 115, I think.
You're right. Giacomo Agostini has 122. He will tell you 123, but Formula 750 win, I think it is, around the Isle of Man. There's one, there's a disputed one in there. It wasn't the Grand Prix. Giacomo insists it was. Here we go. It's a long-running one. Either way, that's 122 is the official number.
I bet he finds it hard to sleep at night. Having that victory taken away from him.
Do you reckon Giacomo Agostini's ever had any difficulty sleeping?
No.
With what he's done and achieved and the life he's led? What a utter legend. Still is. Got an aura when you go and speak to him in the paddock.
He's so right. Pecco's on a better lap. He's currently 17th in this session. He's halfway around, only a couple of tenths off. Let's hope he can keep this lap going.
But still done less laps than anyone. Oh, no, Maverick Vinales only done 8. We know he's limiting his laps. Here he comes, Maverick, to the line.
Pecco said that he came here this weekend and made those changes in Hungary. So he had one bike set with a new setting, let's say the Ballaton Park setting, and he had another bike set for this track with everything they know. Went out on them both yesterday morning and hated them, both of them. But then it's like he didn't have a clear direction. That's the issue when you're not quite on the pace.
And the gaps are so tight here because of the lack of grip. At 0.6 of a second he goes across the line, but he's down in 17th place. I really felt for him yesterday, fronting up to the media. And do you know what? Pecco's one of the most polite people you will ever meet, and he just continued to be that yesterday. You know, other people who banging the table, kicking off. We know those riders who they would have been. Pecco fronting up to the media, explaining his feeling, explaining how he's getting on, and still talking about it, talking about how low he is, saying that it's even worse than in Hungary, that he's even lower than there, and doing it all, not with a smile on his face, but doing it all open-eyed, you know,
it takes some
straight talking. It really does. I really felt for him the way he fronted up yesterday, but he wasn't doing it in a dejected, down in the dump style. He was just very matter of fact. I'm sharing this with you, the media, and people at home as well.
Walking to do those interviews when you've finished 23rd and 21st on day one, and you're a 2-time MotoGP world champion, he would have felt embarrassed to face the media, and that is a mark of the man, that he then is professional enough to go through it like you've just explained.
That's the line, professional, that's the word.
Incredible, isn't it, really? And that's what we all want him to do well, because he's one of the good guys, and he's obviously super talented.
A little bit of fun here with Marco Bezzecchi and Marc Marquez having a really good look at him.
That's part of the practice, isn't it? You've done your mileage on your tyres, and now it's like, what's it like when I'm behind someone? What's it feel like? All gathering data. Is there anywhere that I can clearly pass?
It was interesting because on that previous lap, Marc had a red sector and he was ahead of Bezzecchi. Then Bezzecchi passed him into turn 5. Was that a deliberate ploy to get a look at the Aprilia?
I'd have thought so.
He's right in behind him now.
Yeah, he's
down
riding
towards
close.
turn 5.
No
That
way.
part of it as well, because tyre. That was one of the other comments yesterday. The tyre pressures will go through the roof.
Yeah.
If you're riding close behind someone here.
This is one of the places to pass now. You try and get a run through 9, try and carry some corner speed to close the gap, and then you've a chance at having a go down into 10. Obviously not from where Mark is now, too far back, but one of the... Well, it's turn 10, turn 1 and turn 10 are the two obvious passing opportunities. Oh, I saw the rear step out a little bit there. There are some other places you can steal a pass. Obviously, we've seen it in the last corner, but that's very rare. You have a chance into turn 5, but that's always hold your breath up. You don't lose the front.
This is where the Aprilia, just look at how he just pulls a little bit on Marc Marquez through those two right-handers. Watch how Marc stands the bike up. It's so deliberate.
Yeah.
Great running on board with Bez there. As we run down towards turn 1.
Tell you, Jorge Martin's having a strange weekend. After finishing 4th in Ballerton Park, he's been nowhere here, and we know the Aprilia goes well around here. I expected more from him. Don't know what you guys think. I mean, he's 0.7 off in this session, he's 20th, and that's where he's been. He's sort of been in the high teens all weekend. Quite surprised.
Yeah, I was touting him for a possible shot at the podium.
Yeah, I
this
said that
weekend.
as well. Yeah.
There's a chance.
Yeah, the images we saw of him in the box this morning, just adjusted his riding position, says he's not entirely comfortable with the bike around here. Hopefully we can find something to get him back on that form.
So that's the end of our second free practice session here at the Barcelona-Catalunya circuit. And after Brad Binder top proceedings yesterday, now it's Joan Mir on top here in free practice. But we have got the road to the grid being formed over the next few minutes. Joan Mir will be out in Q1. Who's going to make it through up into that final qualifying session? We're about to find out when we come back from the break. We'll be going qualifying here at the Catalan Grand Prix.
Right, so that was free practice 2 for MotoGP here in the Catalan Grand Prix. And I'm just trying to find something quickly. And I am not completely sure of it. So I shall read out the results. So, Mir finishes on top. Very good for Mir with a 1:39.119. Alex Marquez finishes in second with a 1:39.141. Quartararo in third with a 1:39.237. Vinales in fourth, then Acosta in fifth, sixth is Aldeguer, D'Antonio is in seventh, eighth is Marc Marquez, Bezecchi is in ninth, Binder is in 10th, 11th is Zarco, Ralph Fernandez is in 12th, 13th is Marini, Bastianini is in 14th, 15th is Jack Miller, Aleix Spargaro is in 16th, Bagnaia is in 17th. Very bad for Bagnaia on that front. I mean, I'm really curious to what's going on with Bagnaia this weekend. Then Oliveira is in 18th, 19th is Morbidelli, Martin is in 20th, Iagora in 21st, 22nd is Rins, Chantra is 23rd, and 24th is Salvadori.
So we'll be moving over now to JB Motorsports. If you're watching on YouTube, you know where to go. We'll see you there.